It is that time of the week again, the Dynasty waiver wire show for you Dynasty degens out there who play in those ridiculously deep leagues with 12, 14, 16 teams, 30-man rosters. This show is for you. And we're going to kick it off, as always, with the quarterback position. Tyrod Taylor is someone that I would be thinking about if he's out there on waiver wires in your Dynasty league. I'd be thinking about picking him up. The Jets are dysfunctional right now. And I'm just worried either A, Rodgers gets hurt, or B, man, like as the season progresses and they get further and further, playoffs aren't happening. Does he just kind of quit on the team? Does he just, stop playing? I don't know. The whole situation feels weird. So I'm going to be wanting to roster Tyrod Taylor. And again, in Superflex leagues, we all know, us fantasy or Dynasty players know, in Superflex leagues, Dynasty, any starting quarterback is valuable, extremely, extremely valuable. So, we need to be picking him up. I'm just a little bit worried here. And then another one is Carson Wentz. Obviously, the backup for the Chiefs is someone I'm going to want to have on my roster, because if Carson Wentz ever gets in there, do I think that Carson Wentz can throw for 225 yards and a touchdown or two with the Chiefs? Yeah, I think so. I know Mahomes is kind of struggling to do that, but I think Carson Wentz could probably do something like that. So if something were to happen to Mahomes, Carson Wentz needs to be rostered. And he's a guy who has a bit of a pedigree, right? And he's not even ranked on Keep Trade Cut, and I understand why. But I'm just thinking if he's floating out there, like I think I want to pick him up just in case something happens to Mahomes. I want to have the backup quarterback for good NFL teams. And I still consider the Chiefs as one of those. The running backs, a little bit shorter of a list here than usual. Hassan Haskins, and this kind of goes for I keep talking about this every single week. I didn't make a graphic for each and every one. I'm just going to talk about them all together under the graphic of Hassan Haskins, who is Keep Trade Cut RB100. He is the RB3, maybe the RB4 on the Los Angeles Chargers, but Chargers, Rams, Dolphins, 49ers, Lions. I want the running backs on their active rosters and maybe even sometimes their practice squad for those teams. Those are the teams, and maybe I'm missing one or two, but those are the teams right there. Again, Chargers, Rams, Lions, 49ers, Dolphins. Those are the teams where I really want to roster all the running backs that are on their active rosters. Hassan Haskins for the Chargers, Sione Vaki and Craig Reynolds for the Lions. Anyone that I'm missing that's on the Dolphins, Cody Schrader on the Rams, Patrick Taylor on the 49ers, right? Like I want to be rostering these because whoever is the running back for those teams is probably going to have pretty good value. It's probably going to put up good points. So even the RBs, 4s, and on practice squads, I want to be rostering if I can. So that's just a quick, long-winded way of saying, there's some teams out there you just want every single running back on their active roster. Miles Sanders, Keep Trade Cut RB87. He could get traded. And I don't know why the Panthers would hold on to him. I don't even know why the Panthers would hold on to Chuba Hubbard, to be honest. They already drafted his backup in Jonathan Brooks. Might as well get value out of Chuba Hubbard. He's on his last deal of his rookie contract, or his last year of his rookie contract. But Chuba Hubbard, Miles Sanders, I think potentially could get traded. So I'm just trying to predict trade deadline stuff. And let's just say Miles Sanders, he's out there on your waiver wire in Dynasty for some reason, and he gets traded to the Cowboys. Everyone's going to be fighting for him. People are going to drop $600 fab dollars. You know how it's going to be. People are going to go crazy for him, whether it's right or wrong. You need to put him on your team before next Tuesday. And also, if you wait until after the weekend of games, well, the trade deadline ends before waiver wires run again next week. So this is kind of your week to be stashing those guys. Isaiah Davis, another running back here on the Jets. I think he gets forgotten about a little bit. Obviously, you have Breece Hall, you have Braylon Allen, who are the 1-2. And then, I think even Israel Abanikanda is probably a little bit more rostered than Isaiah Davis. Isaiah Davis, I think, is a good running back. And if he ever got the opportunity, it's going to take multiple injuries. but if he ever got the opportunity, I think he could put up pretty good numbers. So he's a guy that I want to try and hold if possible, just in case something happens to Brees or Braylon Allen, and then Isaiah Davis becomes, Braylon Allen has put up decent fantasy weeks even with playing behind Brees Hall, right? Braylon Allen has a 56-yard, 2-touchdown game, a 68 total yard game with 3 catches. He has another 50-yard game with and then he has just last week 12 carries, 32 yards and a touchdown. So like in those deeper leagues, again, I'm assuming if you play in deep dynasty leagues, like, my point is if Braylon Allen gets hurt, Isaiah Davis could be the next in line, and he could kind of take over what Braylon Allen's been doing. So he's a guy I just feel like he gets forgotten about. He was drafted in the 5th round of this year. They literally took Braylon Allen round 4 and Isaiah Davis round 5. So like I think Isaiah Davis is a pretty talented player here. And that's it for running backs. Again, only 3 graphics, but obviously, again, Hassan Haskins includes 6 other running backs that you potentially should be rostering. Into some wide receivers here. DJ Shark, I believe, is coming back soon for the Chargers. And I think DJ Shark was meant to be a big part of the Chargers' plans. He's not returning week 8, active for week 8. Okay, so he was questionable heading into week 8. So that means he could play in week 9. I think he was meant to be kind of a big part of their plans, and he just got hurt. And so I'm just thinking Chargers are starting to throw the ball more since their bye week. Before their bye week, the 4 games they had, they averaged 23 pass attempts per game. Since their bye week, it's been 3 games, they're averaging 35 pass attempts per game. I think this is how they're going to want to run their offense. I think they're going to want to let Herbert throw the ball 35 to 40 times more than, doing it 20 to 25 times. And my point is, we saw some production from guys like Simi Fehoko. I don't know exactly how to say his name correctly. Simi Fehoko is the pronunciation guide. We saw a couple games from him. A guy that's 5th round pick in 2021, bounced around, stuff like that. But we saw 2 catches, 44 yards, 3 catches, 45 yards. Best ball leagues, DJ Shark, it would be money. And I think he could have some decent production here. He's just more talented than those other guys. And I think he goes out there, and he starts playing 80% of the snaps. So he's the guy that I want to be rostering. DJ Turner is another guy. I keep talking about him and bringing him up. He's playing a lot of snaps, and that's half the battle for these dynasty deep dives, these deep stashes, these deep ads. Are they playing, right? Are they playing or are they not playing? Like, that's what we're really looking at. DJ Turner is playing, and we're seeing a little bit of production from him. 2 catches, 37 yards, 4 catches, 32 total yards and a touchdown with 4 catches last week against Kansas City. He's out there. He's out there a lot. He's played 53% of the snaps. So, he's a guy you could do worse. Throw him on your best ball roster or whatever. You might catch a touchdown here and there. So, Lil Jordan Humphrey is another one. Half the battle is out there playing. He's out there playing. He didn't play like that before, but he had 6 targets, 4 catches, 22 yards last week. And he played, I believe, 90% of the snaps. I was way off. 60% of the snaps. But he's out there playing. He had a dip in week 6 and 7 where he was like at or under 50%. He jumped back up to 60%. What if they trade Cortland Sutton? This is another getting ahead of the trade things. What if they potentially trade Cortland Sutton? I don't think they're going to do that because I think Denver thinks they could possibly make the playoffs. So just something interesting to note that Lil Jordan Humphrey's out there playing. Anais Smith is another guy that could be out there. Sorry, I just got a weird message I was looking at. Anais Smith is a rookie, 5th round pick. I believe 5th round, maybe 6th round pick for the Eagles. I liked him coming out of college. I think he can do a lot of cool things, a lot of different things. He can kind of play that hybrid role a little bit and stuff like that. He can play the, get some carries and things like that. Also, he's big in the return game. So if you get return yards and stuff, that's money. That's money, right? So, that's something that I value. Again, he's a rookie. He's a rookie. There's some intrigue here. So I want to roster Anaya Smith if someone dropped him because he's been injured up until this last week. David Moore, he's benefiting from the Deontay Johnson, being out last week and now being traded. David Moore, who's bounced around. He's been in the NFL since 2017. We had a few good, decent years out there. He's more of a field stretcher type of player, averaged over 17 yards per reception in 2018 and 2019. But David Moore last week played in 82% of their team's Carolina's snaps. He had 5 targets, 4 catches, and 39 yards last week. But that's production. He's out there playing. This is deep dive stuff, guys. So next up, we have Tim Jones for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars are going to be without Christian Kirk. They could be without Brian Thomas. We'll see about that for a couple of weeks. They could be without Gabe Davis. So who's that leave? Well, guys like Parker Washington, who I assume is probably rostered by most people. And then Tim Jones. Tim Jones is another player who might get a boost of playing time with those 2 guys or 3 guys out. He had 50% of the snaps last week because of the injuries. So, Trevor Lawrence is going to have to throw it to someone, and maybe it's going to be Tim Jones. It's kind of gross, but you never know. Van Jefferson, if he's out there, Russell Wilson is surprisingly and kind of shocking to me. He's doing some good things with this passing offense. He's making the passing offense go a little bit. Van Jefferson had 5 targets, 4 catches, 62 yards. We've seen he had a touchdown last week. We've seen Van Jefferson be a relevant wide receiver in the past. So, he's an interesting target that if that passing game gets going a little bit more, I'm slightly intrigued, right? I'm slightly intrigued. Slightly, right? I'm not super intrigued, but again, we're scraping the bottom of the barrel here, guys, and you guys know that best. Some tight ends to finish up. Will Dissly, if he's out there, you need to be adding him. He's a start as long as Hayden Hurst is out and Quentin Johnston's out. Will Dissly is a start. He's had 18 targets over the last 2 weeks. And he's had good weeks for tight ends 2 weeks in a row. 8 for 81 is a fantastic week for a tight end. 5 for 41. Those are the type of tight ends. You find those, they're in that bucket of, can you give me 4 or 5 catches, 40, 50 yards? I'll take it. So Will Dissly, as long as Hayden Hurst is out and Quentin Johnston's out, needs to be picked up and potentially started in your leagues. And then one more tight end here is Cade Stover. Dalton Schultz just doesn't look good. I don't know if you guys have watched him at all, but he doesn't look great. Yeah, he's giving you the 4 catches, 50 yards every now and then, but he doesn't look good when he gets those catches. It just doesn't look great. Excuse me. And I think they're potentially slowly going to be going towards a different direction here with Cade Stover, a rookie that they like that played with CJ Stroud. He's gone up in production almost every single week. He's gone up or stayed the same, but he had 3 targets and 2 catches last week. His snap percentage has gone up from 20% to begin the year to almost 50% the last 3 weeks. 52, 48, 48% the last 3 weeks. He's intriguing if Dalton Schultz is just unimpressive, Cade Stover could kind of take over that role. And then last up, it's another wide receiver that I forgot, but Chris Conley. I know the 49ers are going on the bye. Chris Conley is playing a decent amount out there, with Brandon Ayuk out, Juwan Jennings out, I think missed some time. Chris Conley played 67% of the snaps, 70% of the snaps the week before against Kansas City. Hasn't really done anything, hasn't caught a pass, but he's going to be out there. He's going to catch a touchdown if he's going to be out there 70% of the time. So if you play in best ball, he's a guy to potentially add. That is all I have for you guys this week. A little bit shorter of a list. Hope you guys appreciate it. Help us get to 800 subscribers is our next step. So appreciate you all. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you guys all in the next video.